Cliff Oparanya, and as well, of course, Opio Wandai in the energy docket. In studio, I'm joined by Jackson Goima, seated on my immediate right, a political analyst. Thank you so much for getting time this morning. Seated right in the middle is Reverend Mark Echakara, governance expert. Asante sana for coming, Rev.
Thank you.
And on the far end is Honorable James Gakuya, Embakasi North Member of Parliament, a close ally of the former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. We begin with these. President William Ruto has yet again reshuffled his cabinet just a few months after firing his entire cabinet following weeks of unrest led by the Gen Z. Ruto has nominated Sports Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen as the new interior boss. The seat fell vacant following the nomination and confirmation of Kithure Kindiki as his new deputy. Former Health CS Mutahi Kagwe has staged also a comeback following his nomination as the new agriculture boss. Ian Kitani with the details of President Ruto's latest move to incorporate his political nemesis turned friends.
Through a press release from the office of the Chief of Staff, President William Ruto, barely 5 months after making new appointments, following the firing of his entire cabinet, has made further changes to his cabinet. Top on the list of the new nominees is Sports CS Kipchumba Murkomen, President William Ruto's long-standing ally, who has been nominated to the interior docket formerly held by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki. His nomination follows weeks of intense lobbying from various quarters. Murkomen recently took charge of the sports docket after being relieved his duties from the Ministry of Transport following the Gen Z-led demonstrations. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who fell out with President Ruto after the 2017 general election, seems to have been fully incorporated into the so-called broad-based government, with his close allies nominated into key cabinet positions. Former Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, who was among those said to be eyeing the interior docket, has been nominated as the new agriculture boss, taking over from Andrew Karanja, who has been nominated as Kenya's ambassador to Brazil, just 4 months after taking oath as agriculture boss. Also making a comeback is former Kiambu Governor William Kabogo, who has been nominated into the ICT docket. Former Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui has not been left out, following his nomination as the new Trade CS. Trade CS Salim Vuria has been moved to take over reins of power at the sports docket, following Kipchumba Murkomen's nomination to the interior docket. Other allies of former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who have been incorporated to the broad-based government, is former Laikipia Governor Nderitu Murithi, who has been appointed the new KRA board chair. The latest move by President Ruto comes just 2 weeks after meeting with former President Uhuru Kenyatta at his Gatundu home, with political commentators deeming the meeting and the new nominations to cabinet as a move by President William Ruto to quell the disquiet in the Mount Kenya region, following the ouster of Rigathi Gachagua as Deputy President. Ian Kitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Honorable James Gakuya, Uhuru Kenyatta is now a kingmaker. Gachagua has been neutralized. That is what many would argue.
Thank you, Joe. Allow me to salute you as wherever they are watching us from. And coming to the matter kingmaker. I would just want to repeat my words. That the new down of cabinet reshuffle is not a surprise to many, and especially to myself. This has culminated after the last visit we saw former president hosting the incumbent president at Gatundu. And it was very clear that this was not their first meeting. And it is now casted the doubt that was there before, that the mission to purge Gachagua completely was hatched, and Uhuru cannot escape from this. This was a pure hatch between the head of state, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and Uhuru Kenyatta. And the reason why I say this very authoritatively is that Uhuru, even today, is the chairperson of the Azimio Party. And when Laila was asked how he joined Ruto, he was very categorical that he was consulted and asked by the former president to start negotiating with the head of state to cool the country. And by that initiative, it is what has brought the current changes. But this to me is not a surprise at all. This will just work for 3 years. But in fact, I told you last time that nothing, even a position of deputy president, is back to mountain. And nothing is changing. Don't think that it is really anything that will be...
So this will not shift the ground?
From where?
From Gachagua to
No,
Ruto.
the team will serve the master.
If at all it's with Gachagua,
I can tell you the team will serve the master, but not the public. They will, and that is it.
Rev,
that's it.
Your reaction to the cabinet changes. In fact, 3 former governors, that is Kiambu, William Kafogo, Lee Kinyanjui from Nakuru, Nderutu Mureithi from Laikipia, Mutahi Kagwe, who was once a senator in Nyeri under the former health CS. Is it not very strategic to weaken Gachagua if at all he's to make inroads? In fact, Mutahi Kagwe comes from Nyeri, where Gachagua hails from.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for having me here. Looking at what happened yesterday, I don't want to look at it from what implications it will have on Gachagua, because as it is, Gachagua's position has no implications as far as I'm concerned.
So Gachagua is inconsequential politically?
Legally, it's inconsequential. And you see, nobody has politics over control, or has monopoly over control as far as politics is concerned. And nobody can be sure that they have everything in the bag and they have it all figured out. So as far as I'm concerned, the men, where I want to look at it this way, the men that have been nominated to join cabinet and those who have been appointed are men who are well able to serve this nation. Remember, those positions, they are not Ruto's shamba boys. So they are waendi kupalia mahindi sogoi. They have been appointed to serve the people of Kenya. The question then that follows is, are these men able to deliver and to grant relief to the Kenyan people? Because as it is right now, you know, there's a lot of undercurrents and dissatisfaction by the citizens with the public service delivery. That is the most important thing. The question then is, after President William Ruto has nominated these men, are they capable of delivering on his promises to the Kenyan people? My answer is yes. Why? Because these men have a proven track record. For example, the former governor of Kiambu, William Kafogo, is a very seasoned, not just politician, but leader as well. He lay a very strong foundation for Kiambu, which those who are objective can agree with me. He lay a very strong foundation for Kiambu County. And Kiambu County right now is thriving thanks to the foundation that was laid. Lee Kinyanjui served Nakuru very well. Nderito, who's been appointed at the KRA, is a seasoned politician who has impeccable credentials as far as matters economy is concerned. Mutahi Kagwe has served this nation very well, and everybody knows. So the question that people need to ask themselves, these men that have been appointed, besides the political lens from which many people want to read their joining government or cabinet, are they able to deliver? For me, that is the most important question.
Jackson Ngoima, political analyst. 10 days exactly after Ruto was seen in Ishaweri, there is a cabinet reshuffle. From where you sit from, how do you look at these changes? Raila Odinga already has 4 members in the cabinet. Now the former President Uhuru Kenyatta has been given 3 cabinet slots and as well the chairmanship of KRA?
Thank you very much, Chacha, for having me on the show. And good morning, Kenyans. From where I sit, President William Ruto has been running a very chaotic government. A government that has not won the confidence of the people, and the people were disillusioned, and all our institutions had lost their vitality, and the people of Kenya for a very long time felt they were left alone. After the Gen Z movement, we saw the president attempt to make some changes to his cabinet, hoping to inject new blood and maybe give hope to Kenyans, which didn't again work. Now, I don't want to say that this cabinet reshuffle has happened after the Ishaweri visit, though actually it has, but I don't want to give any relationship between these appointments and that visit, because the way I know the fourth president, he gave a very clear statement as to what the contents of their meeting were. And I want to stick to what he said, that these are the reasons as to why we met. It is common practice and good behavior that two statesmen meet. And then he talked about having held a discussion on national interest, and then about animosity that was there between government and the opposition. And then he emphasized the need for transparency and accountability, and the need for the president to stabilize the nation. Then if the president felt that with the advice that he had gotten from the fourth, what then would happen is that I need then to bring in more people that can help me achieve this. And those people will be found within Mount Kenya region, and possibly those who had worked with the fourth president. And he decided to appoint them. Then we don't need to, every time when there is a national discourse, bring in the name of the fourth, both positively and negatively, even when maybe he was not involved. The country was going in the wrong direction, that is for sure. The people had lost hope and faith in government. And therefore, what the president is trying to do is trying to bring back hope to the people. He's trying to create a more inclusive government. Remember, this was called a broad-based government before. Now, this team joined in. Now I have seen some quarters calling it now a government of national unity. So all there is that there are attempts to try and bring sanity in government. Of course, this, like my colleague has said here, these people who have been brought in government, Lee Kinyanjui, Nderito Mureithi, Mutahi Kagwe, are people who have impeccable credentials in matters of government and management. And therefore, we believe what they are going to bring in is sanity. And again, these are not people who are easily going to take orders that are destructive to the nation. But this idea of imagining that there is a tug of war or there is a supremacy battle between the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, and Uhuru Kenyatta is something that should be downplayed, because really there is no contest. As it stands, the fourth president is not going to be a president again. He's not running for any office. And as it stands, the position of the former deputy president is in limbo. Legally, he's not likely to run for any office unless he's cleared by the courts of law. So as at now, we just need to watch the political space, see what is going to happen in the next couple of days, because the nation is still in the red. We are still in great turmoil. The people are still discouraged. So we are yet to see what Kenyans will make out of this.
Honorable Gakuya, a key word from the two panelists here is that this government will deliver for the people, hopefully. And with that, maybe it assures President William Ruto of a re-election. The efforts and a spirited fight for that to happen from the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, will it not then be a chase, actually be, you know, Gachagua chasing wind? Because with the delivery to the promises by President William Ruto, then perhaps he's assured of a re-election.
Joe, let us agree on one thing. Any cabinet member that is not appointed to represent a region or to work for a particular region, a docket that is cabinet is a national docket. And therefore, anybody who is appointed is expected to serve the Kenyans across the board, not a particular region of Mount Kenya. And therefore, there's nothing much we are expecting from these guys. Nothing much. I am not afraid that actually...
Why are you pessimistic?
No, one, they have a track record of service. And I have no problem with that. And what I have just repeated that they will serve their master. That they will. But this is not going to change any heart of any hearted person. This is a position. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That whether you want us to downplay and assume that Gachagua is nobody as we speak, it's fine. But
just looking at the credentials, let's say for Mutahi Kagwe, coming from Nyeri,
I am saying
Gachagua only served as a one-term MP. No, would you compare the experience? Let's say Mutahi Kagwe
let us agree on one thing. Mutahi Kagwe has tried to capture the governorship of Nyeri, and he has lost it. He has also tried to capture that position on another level. He has failed to capture it. It does not mean today, having become a cabinet minister, then he has gained a say in that particular region. That I can tell you for sure. But what I would like to say, he's a good man, and he's a smart man. He will serve the nation.
Will he deliver for the agriculture docket?
One thing, and I want you to take your foot there. You must know, ask yourself, what has made even the current, even those fired ministers to fail into their line of duty? One, remember this country as we close the year. In that particular sector of agriculture, remember what are the deficits? The deficits were billions of money. How do you deliver as a cabinet minister without resources, my good friend? First and foremost, if you want this cabinet to deliver, give them what we call ammunition to deliver. And those are resources. Otherwise, if you tell us that in fact because you have given us a very good national figures, that we expect that in fact whenever they speak, they will be taken serious. They will be taken serious if they are doing what they are supposed to do as per expectation. But as we speak, tell me, what has made the outgone agriculture minister to fail within 4 months? What kind of time would you want to give somebody to prove him wrong or right, a performer or not? One, any position must follow with what we call resources. Even in the current situation we are, that we are on the high gear of releasing those powers that are still clicked in the national government to counties. If you push those mandates to the counties and fail to release resources to follow those services, you are not expecting any result.
Rev. Honorable Gakuya says they will serve their master, not Kenyans. Was it that Gachagua and maybe his team, they're pessimistic about these moves being taken by President Ruto?
President William Ruto is not a master. He is a servant of the people. He has no mandate apart from that given to him by the people. So he is not their master. The Kenyan people, the electorate, are the masters of this government because they elected it. Secondly, I would not want to...
If Kenyans are the masters...
I would not want to begrudge Mheshimiwa, considering his political leaning, because he might just be venting out his frustrations, but that is okay. But what I want to say is this: these people who have been appointed to serve the nation of Kenya. And I think what Mheshimiwa struggles to balance is what he says with one side of the mouth, that these people will serve the people of Kenya. They are not called to serve one region, while at the same time struggling to speak for one region. So I think I think anybody who wants to take that approach and want to run that narrative and to follow the proponent of that narrative is like a tick that is sticking onto the hide of a cow that has been skinned. while the hide is still wet, it doesn't know that the cow has already been butchered and eaten. And very soon the skin dries up, ends up in the tannery. Or an investor, in these modern times, when fashion has changed, who puts all his money to set up a factory to manufacture kamisi ya wamama, which is no longer fashionable. So the majority of the decisions that people, we are seeing things change, but we are still in denial. But very soon the reality will catch up with us.
Well, Jackson, do they have enough time to deliver? And also the whole issue of the resources given to these ministries. Can, maybe, if at all the government has failed so far, does it have time to redeem itself with the faces that have been brought forth?
First, I want to correct something that you said. You said that these two gentlemen have said that this team will deliver. I did not say this team will deliver. What I said is that President William Ruto has brought a team of people who can deliver into his government.
So they have the possibility.
They have the capacity. I don't want to talk about the possibility. They have the capacity to deliver. They are people who have succeeded in the various fields that they have practiced or been engaged in. For example, if you look at somebody like Mutahi Kagwe, it was amazing how he navigated this country through COVID. I can tell you that that was a very challenging time, and every morning when he came on TV, Kenyans felt some relief and some hope that there is a government and something was being done. Derito Mureithi is a guy who has extreme knowledge in economics and governance also, and he understands Kenyans because he has served as a member of parliament, has served as governor. Now, be that as it may, a vehicle is as good as the engine. At the same time, that a very small problem can cause a vehicle to malfunction. For example, if it doesn't have a battery. Now we have people who are very good in their work and they have come into cabinet. One thing that is for sure is that they improve the quality of debate in the cabinet. And perhaps they also bring in some element of assertiveness. We are aware that the previous cabinet, just looking at the individuals in there, those were yes people. They were people who were quite inexperienced in public service, and a majority of them were also people who had gotten their positions on the basis of extreme favors, some of them that had nothing to do with competence. But if you look at now these people who have come, what we guarantee, what Kenyans are maybe guaranteed of is that the quality of discussions, the quality of debate, the quality of advice that the president will receive from his cabinet will definitely improve. But the question again is he capable of taking this advice? And the question is, will he listen to these people? Or is his decision to bring in these people driven by the desire to have this country improve? Or is it driven by a desire to sustain himself in power beyond 2027? Because now, if you look at the Mount Kenya people, the names that have always been thrown out as potential presidential candidates, people have always said that Mutahi Kagwe may be a president or a running mate. People have said that Derito Mureithi can even become a presidential candidate. People have always said Lee Kinyanjui is a good candidate. And then what does William Ruto do? William Ruto brings all of them into his government. And the question is, does he want to improve his government and the country at large, or does he want to come down with all of them?
Interesting. At that juncture, we take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll still actually be analyzing what this means for the country and as well for the political arena as we gear towards 2027. Keep the conversation going with our social media platforms at K24 TV, at Joel Chacha, as well on the SMS and WhatsApp numbers on the bottom of your screens. We take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.